I received an email last week asking me what happens to your Canada Pension Plan contributions when you pass away. After explaining the process and reflecting on the fact that my father-in-law passed away at 52 and my mother at 62 made me pause and think. Yes, on average, we are living longer, but just because the average age of death is 77, that only means that half of us go before and half of us go after. The Canada Pension Plan is an earnings-related social insurance program. It does form one of the major components of Canada's public retirement income system, and it mandates all employed Canadians who are 18 years of age and over that they have to contribute a prescribed portion every year. The Liberal government of Prime Minister Lester B. Pearson introduced the Canada Pension Plan in 1965. At that time, contribution rates were set at 1.8% of an employee's gross income per year. By the mid-90s, this low rate was not sufficient to keep up with Canada's aging population. As a result, the total CPP rates were raised to an annual rate of 9.9% by 2003. The CPP is funded on a steady state basis, with its current contribution rate set so that it will remain constant for the next 75 years. Assets held in the CPP fund are by themselves insufficient to pay for all future benefits accrued to date, but sufficient to prevent contributions from rising any further. While a sustainable path for this particular plan, given the indefinite existence of a government, is not typical of other public or private sector pension plans. The federal government is currently considering increasing CPP benefits, which would mean a significant premium hike for working Canadians and even more serious impacts for the economy. The proposal being considered by government would phase in increases over 10 years. The maximum annual premium would go up by $2,200 a year over that time, impacting all working Canadians. The employee portion would increase by about $1,100 a year, while the employer portion would also increase by that same $1,100. This means that a company with 15 employees would be paying an additional $16,500 per year. The self-employed, who pay the entire premiums themselves, would be paying an additional $2,200 a year. One thing that has always been overlooked in debates about the calculation is the government never discusses the individuals that die before they had a chance to collect on their government pensions. CPP was introduced in the 60s, when the average male passed away at 62. And based on current contribution rates, if you make $51,000 a year, you and your employer are forced into saving $4,700 a year. Say you work for that company for 20 years and die the day before you start collecting your government-sponsored pension. At a simple 3% growth, that pension would be worth almost $112,000. And what would the people you love receive on your death? $2,500. Remember, not only did you contribute, but your employer did as well. Have you seen where the government pays 1 penny into this process? This is the money that you save in a government bank to ensure you have a retirement check from the money we put in, not the government. And they have the audacity to refer to CPP as an entitlement program. Remember senator benefits? Free health care, outrageous retirement package, 67 paid holidays, 3 weeks paid vacation, unlimited paid 6 days. They call CPP an entitlement, even though most of us have been paying into it for all of our working lives. And now, when it's time for us to collect, the government is running out of money. The critics will say that the government is doing a noble job by creating a forced retirement income savings program. I say they have created a lucrative Ponzi scheme to line their own pockets, sacrificing tomorrow to pay for today's greed. But is there a better way? With all of this debate, I can't help but wonder what would an insured deposit fund look like for that same working individual. For example, if you took that same business owner and instead of contributing into Canada Pension Plan, they contributed in a permanent cash value life insurance policy for the same period of time, at the end of 20 years, there would be almost $150,000 in cash. But the magical part is, if this business owner should pass away before collecting on their pension, $430,000 would be paid tax-free to the people they love and the causes they care about. A slight difference. Only 172 times what CPP would pay the survivor. Employees have next to no rights as it relates to whether they have to pay into CPP or not, but Canadian self-employed business owners can stand up, end the insanity, and protect their families.